I'm building a new StepMania setup today. First of all, why would I build a new StepMania setup? I already have a working setup, right? Well, on my current setup, it's running on a official Konami PC, which if you've seen my video on it, you've seen the boot up process, you know it works, but you haven't really seen how it performs, and it only just barely works. The version of StepMania that it's using is a pretty stripped down version, so even with that, StepMania 5 just is kind of chugging on it a little bit, and that sometimes affects performance. What I'm going to be doing today is just reviving my old StepMania PC and connecting that to my machine, and I'm going to show you how I go through that process. Just to preface this is not a general tutorial on how to set up StepMania, but if you just so happen to have you know, a full DDR cabinet, an I/O to work with, and a computer to run StepMania on, then you are welcome to follow along. First thing I'm going to need is a PC. Second thing is an I/O. What I have here is called a Minimaid. For other I/O options, there's the good old JPEG and probably a Get I/O, but if you're going for a Get I/O, that's going to turn your pad into a USB controller or keyboard or something, and probably will need this as a guide. It's just going to be plug and play and it'll work on your PC. It's pretty straightforward. As for the PC, there are a couple of things to consider about a StepMania PC. First is whether or not you're going to stream and play StepMania from the same PC, or if you don't care about streaming and you just want a PC by itself to run StepMania on your cabinet. You don't really need some powerful specs. I think a lot of people underestimate how much a StepMania 5 actually needs for resources to run well enough. Not to say that you really need a strongly spec PC, but you need something a little decent. Since I have a dedicated streaming PC, I'm going to go with my old StepMania PC. It's an old Optiplex 960. I think it's like a Core 2 Duo or something with 4 gigs of RAM. I don't exactly remember, and AMD R5 240, so it's a pretty old PC, but it'll still run StepMania 5 well enough. I'll also be running Windows 7. As for the I/O here, like I mentioned before, this is called a Minimaid. Don't ask me where you can get these, because I don't even know anymore. These were a very limited time, limited production I/O board specifically for DDR cabinets and anything that ran a System 573, GFDM, Guitar Freak StepMania, and there was a Betson DDR Supernova version, but this one right here is designed for a DDR System 573. So the advantages of this I/O board over something like a JPEG, this supposedly pulls at about 1000 hertz, I believe. It also does video. It has the pinouts, the headers for player 1, player 2 lights, cabinet lights, and the base neon lights. So it's got full light support on this built in. It's a standard JAMA connection, and it's got a pretty good polling. Before I get the I/O connected to the cabinet, I'm going to need to unplug pretty much everything from my existing system and leaving only the JAMA, player 1, player 2, lights connectors, and that's pretty much it. There's some extra connections that are just not going to be used. Yeah, I'll get that done and then get the I/O connected, and then we can start doing the StepMania setup. Okay, so now I have the I/O connected. I just took the JAMA from the old system and just connected it to the Minimaid itself. And then we've got our 4 connectors. That should be base lights on the left there. Then it's cabinet lights, 1-player connector and lights, and 2-player connector and lights. I'm not going to be connecting the video port to the monitor because I'll just get the direct feed from the PC to the monitor itself. And then we just have to connect the USB port to the PC itself. And that should really be it for setting the Minimaid up, at least. It should just be plug and play device. All right, so I'll just move on to the actual StepMania setup. A short quick thing before I forget. Since a normal PC doesn't usually have the left-right channel stereo plugs on them, you're gonna need something to, I guess, convert the left-right channels into a 3.5 millimeter audio jack for the audio routing to the cabinet. I use this converter here. I plug this end, the 3.5 millimeter jack, into the PC, and then I take the stereo cable that comes from the cabinet itself and just plug it into the other end here, the left and right channels, and that should bring the audio to the cabinet speakers. Okay, now I've got my StepMania PC set up here, again using Windows 7. And before you say anything, I'm using Windows mostly because I'm just comfortable with it. Why aren't you using Linux? It's so much better. Well, first thing, the Minimaid DLL that I need to get that thing working with StepMania, it requires Windows. I'm sure there's like a driver out there for Linux by now, but I don't have that. I'm using what I know and I'm comfortable with, so I'm just going with Windows 7. And the first thing I did with my StepMania PC is install a remote desktop software. You can use anything like TeamViewer or VNC, whatever you prefer. I'm personally using TeamViewer here, as you can see on the screen right now. So what I'm doing here is, I guess we install a copy of StepMania. You can go to StepMania.com here, and you could grab the latest stable version in the download section. The latest stable version right now is 5.0.12 for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Obviously, I'm going to get the Windows version. But if you're feeling a little more adventurous, you can go find the GitHub for StepMania and grab a copy of 5.1 beta 2. This is the version that I will be using for this setup. You can go to the bottom of the releases page here for 5.1 and grab the executable or the Mac version here. Otherwise, if you're really feeling spicy, you could grab 5.3. I think it's still in alpha. I haven't tried it myself, but it is available to download. It is a public alpha. It can be found here on Project Moondance. Use at your own risk, your own discretion. But for the purposes of this video right now, I'm going to be using this version here, 5.1 beta 2. So I grabbed the copy of StepMania here and I've already installed it. What I would do is I would grab the executable here and then run the installer. Install it anywhere that isn't in program files. Program files is kind of a special area, not great for writing files to. So I would recommend just installing it into a folder, either in like I think it defaults to the games directory, or you can just make up your own directory here. I put it on the root of C under the folder StepMania 5.1. I've already installed it here. Now that I have StepMania installed, what's next? So the most important thing you're probably looking for are songs, themes, and probably node skins. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be grabbing the ECFA songs and the theme. I just have to transfer the files over to this StepMania machine here. So while that's all transferring right now, I just gotta mention that if you want to look for song packs or themes other than ECFA, there are a few places that you can look for what we call Simfile packs. And the first place I would recommend is going to itgpacks.com. It's going to redirect you to a giant Google Docs spreadsheet here, it's shown on the screen. They've got packs released by the community, sorted by year, and it shows the pack name, how many songs are in these packs, the step artists involved with creating, writing the charts in the pack. You can find the difficulty ranges of the songs in the packs, BPMs, what kind of charts you can expect in these packs. It can range from anything between, you know, all around or, you know, technical or mostly stream or stamina oriented type of charts. You can go back as far as 2017 for, you know, individual years, but anything before that, you can find this tab here. Anything that's 2016 and prior will all be in one tab, and you can look for the packs and the download links for that here. I can put the link to the spreadsheet in the description, as well as the most popular theme here is going to be Simply Love for StepMania 5, developed by Quietly Turning. You can find the GitHub for the Simply Love theme for StepMania 5 here. I'll put the link in the description as well. You can download that theme. You can download whatever theme you like and install it for StepMania. It's all up to you. Another popular place to get Simfiles and themes is Xenius I Vanisher. This is where you can get DDR style packs, as well as some of the official DDR songs here. Like, let's say if you wanted to grab DDR Extreme, for example, you can go to the arcade section here, select DDR Extreme, and you can download this entire pack here, and then it'll be in one big zip file. If you're interested in a more DDR style type of theme, the one theme I would recommend you getting is Dance Dance Revolution's Starlight. It's kind of a homage to the Dance Dance Revolution series for its 20th anniversary. It's a really well made theme. I'd recommend checking it out. It's compatible with StepMania 5. So if you want a more, you know, have fun with that. All right, we've got our songs and our theme downloaded, transferred over, and so now what do we do with them? Well, first, let's go to the StepMania directory here, and if we want to install our songs first, and we can go into our songs directory. I want to open up one of the song file packs that I just grabbed here. Make sure everything here looks okay, and then just grab those and can just drag them over here. A lot of song packs are either in a RAR format or a zip extension file, so you want something like WinRAR or 7-zip. I personally like to use 7-zip. It handles both RAR files and zip files, and it's totally free. So that's all you got to do, is just take these folders, drag them over here. So before I forget, the format that you want to install these songs in is you want, this is the game directory, then it's songs, then it's pack name, and then all the individual songs belong in the pack folder. So this is how the directory is going to look: songs, pack name, song, and then each song is going to have its own music file, sim file here. So either an SM or SSC file is going to be holding all the chart metadata, song data, and all that. Basically all the stuff that you're going to see on the screen when you see it in StepMania. And then you've got the graphics here as well. So I'm just gonna grab all these folders here, just drag them in. It's really not that complicated. The only complicated things is finding all the packs that you want to play and deciding what you want to install, because there are just so many choices. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention, I plugged in the Minimaid I/O via USB to the computer, so it's going to show up as a USB input device. It's basically acting like a keyboard. It shows 2 keyboard devices installed. One of them is just a regular keyboard, and the other one is going to be the Minimaid device. Pretty much same thing here. Alright, so now our songs are installed. Next thing you want to install is the theme. So I grabbed the ECFA theme here called Waterfall, and basically just take the theme here and drag it in. So for the themes here, the directory is going to look like this. It's going to look like the game directory here, StepMania 5.1, themes, and then the name of the theme here. It's going to look like this. And then note skins. Note skins are going to look like this. I'll go into the note skins directory here, go into dance. These are all the note skins that I currently have installed on this setup. So want to go in here. I like to just go right into the dance directory, grab all the note skins that I want, and just drag them in. Make sure that they are all under the dance folder here. Alright, so now that we've got the note skins, theme, and songs installed, we're done, right? Not so fast, not yet. We want to do kind of an initial configuration. We want to look at all the settings first here. This might be a little more advanced. Anyone who's who doesn't really know what exactly is going on here, you might not have to worry about that. These are going to be like custom settings that kind of suit my needs. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to open up the preferences.ini file here. You find that under StepMania 5.1 or whatever your StepMania directory is, and then go to the save directory. No, before I forget, this file is pretty important. So if you want everything to be read from just this directory here, you're gonna want to add this ini file. You can just make a new file and name it portable.ini, stick it in here, and everything will run and be read from this directory and this directory alone. Otherwise, if you don't have this, everything's going to read from your Windows user directory, and I'm not exactly a fan of that, so that's why I put the portable.ini file in here. Alright, so back to preferences.ini, kind of just go through here, kind of skim through this. I have my songs folder. I guess since I put the songs in this folder, I don't really need to have this in here, and I don't have anything in this directory either, so I can just get rid of that. And then scroll down. So display width and display height. This is going to be my game resolution. This is going to depend on if you're using a CRT or an LCD. Because when I was using a CRT, I would have needed to, keep this at 640 by 480, and I needed to do some sort of driver wizardry to get the game to run at standard resolution, 15 kilohertz horizontal frequency. Since I'm using an LCD right now, I don't really have to worry about that, so I can set my display width and height to whatever I like. I personally use 1024 by 768 for my monitor right now. I like using a 4:3 resolution, mainly because of how it looks on the cabinet, and because the low input lag of the monitor relies on it being a 4:3 resolution. If I have it at something like 16:9, there's going to be a ton of input lag, and I don't want that, so I'm just going to keep it at 1024 by 768. It looks nice enough at that resolution. Fast load 1, you definitely want to load the songs quickly. This is basically just pre-caching all the songs, and then the next time you run the game, it's just going to load everything up from the cache. Global offset, this is going to depend on your system. I'll probably have to change this at some point depending on how it feels. I have it just set at the default global offset for in the groove. It doesn't necessarily have to be this value. It's going to depend on your PC specs and setup. So don't really worry about that setting here. Lights driver. So if I want to take advantage of the Minimaid's lights and input and stuff, I need to add this line here. Win32 Minimaid. And oh yeah, speaking of the Minimaid, the DLL file that I was mentioning here, it's this one here, mmmagic.dll. This is what allows me to be able to use my Minimaid's input and have it work with StepMania and all the lights and stuff. So that's pretty important for me to have. Memory cards. I'm not going to be setting up memory cards. I'm just going to have local profiles. Setting up memory cards is just like a whole other ordeal that I don't want to deal with right now. Setting up local profiles is just fine with me. Only dedicated menu buttons. Since I have a full cabinet, I want to be able to use the front control panel buttons without interfering with the input of my pad. I want to use my pad for song selection. Again, setting your theme, we want to change the theme value to the name of our theme. So this is going to be the folder name of the theme. So if we look back here under themes, the name of this is going to be Waterfall, so I want to change this to Waterfall. And then down here, I have to change it here as well. I don't know why it's in two places here, but it needs to be done because sometimes I keep forgetting to change it in all places. Visual delay 0, that's fine. Windowed, I want this to be full screen. I'm changing this to fail immediate continue because you need that in order for QR codes to work in this theme. I've got to change it up here as well. Alright, and then once that is all done, just save the file. Go back to our save directory. Make sure that everything else looks good too. There's nothing here that I need to change. Theme preferences, nothing here. Key maps should be fine. Yeah, basically everything is done through the preferences here. And some of these values will change if you change some of the options within the game itself. Now that I've got all those files set up, let's try testing this out. Let's run StepMania. So we can just launch StepMania here. Uh-oh. Could not load library mmmagic.dll. Not sure why that happened. Okay, so you probably can't see this right now, but right now the game, because of the waterfall theme and its hashing method, it is just building a cache right now. So I'm gonna wait for that to be done, and then we can figure out what exactly is going on with the DLL file. Okay, so I switched over to the video capture. Now we can actually see the game. It looks like it loaded up just fine. I'll just have to test the input and make sure everything looks okay. I can do that in the options. Right now, the up and right arrows for both sides are not responding. I'll have to figure out what exactly is going on here. So let me do some troubleshooting and I'll be right back. Alright, so we are good to go now. Turns out I needed to download and install a couple of old Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable packages. So I just went and grabbed, I think 2010 and 2013 64-bit and 32-bit. I grabbed all of them, installed all of them, and no more error, no more Minimaid error, and all the inputs are working. I'll show you right now. Up is now working, right, left, down. Everything's all working now. Yeah, everything's all good. So now that we've seen that input is working, let's check out some of the options in StepMania itself. I'm just going to use the keyboard right now so I can see what is going on. Alright, so we check our system settings, waterfall, default note skin. Kind of want to change my default note skin to that right now. The waterfall default note skin. I don't need to edit this, but if you needed to map your inputs, you can do it through here. I have everything here pre-configured already, just based on the Minimaid package that I have. So this is what the Minimaid key bindings look like. They're all hard-coded, so I can't exactly change what's going on here. I just went through the test input, as you saw already, input options. So basically seeing a lot of the same kind of options that you saw in like the preferences.ini file being controlled in here as well. 3-button navigation. Yep, this is basically stuff that is specific to having a DDR cabinet. So 3-button navigation. So I only have 3 buttons on the control panel for each side. This is what I want to use. Debounce time. This is going to really depend on your cabinet. Since 50 milliseconds is what was used in the Groove ITG, I keep it at 50 usually, but if you run into, say, like misfires or pad problems like that, you just get a bunch of like random decents or way offs, or maybe even pad grates. You might want to adjust your debounce time or adjust your form to avoid that from happening. Navigation style, arcade. I prefer that style of navigation. Only dedicated buttons, only using the control panel to navigate through StepMania. Auto map joysticks, I think I will want that off for sure, since I already have my key binding set. Graphics and sound options. I already specified in the INI file what resolution, aspect ratio, and stuff that I want to use. That's all right there. Everything seems to look just fine here. I leave VSync on because I want the frame rate to be at a constant 60 FPS. I don't want any like weird frame rate issues. So I prefer it to keep it that way. You can show stats if you want. I prefer them off. They're kind of distracting to me. And nothing else needs changing there. Visual options. You can adjust these to your preference. I normally leave them kind of like that. Set background fit. I don't touch those. Arcade options, event mode on. I keep event mode on because when I'm playing at home, I tend to, just keep playing and playing. I don't want to like, be restricted to X amount of songs per set. Just keep the session going. Coin mode, you can set this to whatever you like. I just leave it at home mode since I'm playing at home, not playing at an arcade, so I don't really have the need to set it to any other setting here. So since I'm on event mode, like these settings don't exactly matter. Menu timer options, obviously keep the menu timer off unless you really want to have a clock run down and automatically select a song for you. USB profile options, since I didn't set up memory cards, I don't need to do anything with that. Manage local profiles. So if you want to save your scores in StepMania, this is where you want to create your own profile. So I'm just going to make myself a new profile here. That, put my name in here. I'm just gonna set this to player 1 because I usually play on player 1. Theme options. So specifically in this theme, there is a setting that you need to set in order for you to use or select your personal profile for saving scores and stuff. We might run into that soon. Allow players to fail set. Yeah, just keep that. ITG. Oh, yeah, here it is. Allow screen select profile. Yes, I want to select that. So in case like there are other people that want to play on your setup, you can have this screen up and create a profile for them. Or if you have USB memory cards set up somehow, you want to have this up. Stock note skins. I'm not a fan of the stock note skins, so I'm just going to hide all of those. Allow FA plus for groove stats QR. I normally play on FA plus, so yes, I will want that. Allow up and down arrows on evaluation. I don't have up and down arrows, so no. Always merge scores. This is new to me, so I've just got to look this over. Enable this to merge scores from various stat.xml files used by other themes into the waterfall profile stats every time profile loads. This adds a little bit to the profile load time, so it's disable by default. I'll just keep it off. Preload folder grades. No, I'll just leave it that. That should be fine. Customize profile. Oh. Preferred TG. Oh, okay. This is new to me too, so I can select where the... Huh, this is cool. Profile, card view, songs played, accounts. Huh, nice. Life graph, time. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can select either a life graph or a scatter plot for your evaluation. That's cool. I'm used to the timing scatter plot, so I'm going to select that. Preferred secondary pane. Panel breakdown. So on the evaluation screen, you can have, well, you're going to have your normal like judgment breakdown. And then on the second player side, if you're playing alone, you can set it to anything you like here. So I'm used to this timing distribution, so I'm going to set it to that. Preferred secondary graph. Timing, life graph, scatter plot. Yeah, just do that. I don't really care about life graph. And then that seems to be it. So if you want to look at the credits for Simply Love, this theme is based on Simply Love, very heavily modified. Can look at them there. This is where you can reload songs and courses. So if you have the game up and you just add more songs while the game is running, you can just hit this option here to just reload all the songs and reload the cache. It'll load up all the new changes that you've made. Alright, so that's all set. You can check out the gameplay. This is how you navigate StepMania. These are all the folder names. So you can enter whatever folder you like, and you can see what songs are available in that folder. I don't want to get accidentally DMCA'd, so I'm not going to play anything right now. Alright, we'll skip that. And you can see at the evaluation screen, this is what it's going to look like. If you use the left and right buttons at this screen, you can see all the other evaluation options here. You can see like the per arrow breakdown, early, late distribution, some other stats here for timing. Leaderboard, this is a new one here too. There's like a different, seeing your different score evaluations on this screen. You can even test the input after the song, which is a really cool feature. You know, just kind of like, if you run into problems, you can test out the pad on this screen. And then you got the Groove Stats QR code here, so once you get a score on a song that you are pretty proud of and you have a Groove Stats account, just scan the QR code with your phone, log into Groove Stats, and then upload your score. And then in this theme, you can exit your session with a button code, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, and then it'll ask if you want to exit the game, and then you can get a summary of your session that way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is just me walking through getting my new StepMania setup up, running, configured, and all that. Turn that off. Hopefully this was helpful for you all, just to get a glimpse of how I set up a StepMania for a DDR machine specifically. I know not everybody has, you know, the luxury of an entire DDR cabinet, but this is how I do things, and if you want to get StepMania up and running for yourself, you can probably take some things from this video. I can post links to some of the resources in the description below. That should be more than enough to help you all out. Yeah, that should do it, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.